What's up, everybody? It's Sean here from VidGamiac.com, and welcome to the first part of our walkthrough of Genesis Noir. We're going to be going through this game using the dev menu. So to get access to the dev menu, what you want to do is want to make sure you plug in a USB keyboard. On the title screen, what you want to do is want to make sure you press and hold these three keys at the same time. You want to do Control, Shift, and then L. Doing that should take you to this menu, which is going to be the dev menu, and what the dev menu is basically is going to be a level select. Now, the level select is going to be a big time saver, as you do not have to play the game from the beginning. You can skip around to any level you want at any time, and each level is going to also feature certain checkpoints that you can skip to. So for this first achievement, what you want to do is want to make sure you pick select level, and then what you want to do is want to make sure you go to the level that the achievement is going to be in. So we're going to pick seeding. You're going to get two options here. Make sure you pick select checkpoint. That's going to give you the list of the checkpoints you can skip to. Now, even though every single level of the game is going to feature quite a few different checkpoints that you can skip to, in order to save the most time, what you need to do is you need to make sure you pick the latest checkpoints in the level, but you also need to make sure you choose a checkpoint that doesn't, 1, crash the game, 2, get you stuck in an infinite loading screen, and 3, put you in the game at a point where the controls are locked, both the cursor and your character's movement. So you are going to need to make a compromise between how much time you want to save and the actual stability of the game. So this first achievement is going to be the perfect example of this, as you are going to need to select level start as your checkpoint, as even though the dev menu is going to feature later points in the level that you can skip to, unfortunately none of them are going to be stable enough for you to try to go for the achievement. So make sure you go down to level start and make sure you load up the game from there. Now, thankfully, you are still going to be saving a bit of time, as you can skip the prologue and the introduction by skipping straight ahead to the first level. So you are looking at a little bit of a time save right here using the dev menu to get to the first level, but this is definitely going to be one of the longer parts of the game. So we're going to load in the opening cutscene. Make sure you skip through that by tapping the A button. Another advantage of playing this game with the dev menu is you can turn on fast forward at any time by hitting the left bumper. That should allow you to get through the cutscenes super fast. You can also use it during the gameplay parts in order to move super fast, but you do want to be very careful with it, as it is going to cause some stability issues with the game if you do keep it on. Nonetheless, we're going to want to run through the first level like normal, so make sure you walk around this central area right here and make sure you talk to the character in the middle. He should hand you your first set of seeds. Remember, you can always use the fast forward to fast forward any of the conversation bits or any of the cutscenes. Once you have a seed in hand, make sure you use it on the barrier to clear that. Go up to the fence right here and make sure you use a seed on the fence in order to clear that out of the way. This is all going to be part of the story, so you can't really miss this, as it is going to be needed even if you do play the game like normal. We're going to move up here and then talk to this character to get our first set of black seeds, which we're going to use to clear the black obstacles. Again, you can use the fast forward at any time if you are in one of those parts that you are waiting on. Once you get the barrier cleared, make sure you make your way over here and then make sure you use a seed on this pile of dirt. That's going to start the first puzzle. Now, it's very important that if you are playing with the fast forward on, you make sure you disable it whenever actually doing the puzzle bits. The reason for that is, like the cowbell skull in Halo, it tends to mess with the game's physics. So for this first puzzle, what you want to do is want to make sure you try to light up the middle of the sunflower. Once that's lit up all the way, you are going to need to remove the petals by plucking them and then flicking them away from the center of the flower. Now, if you were to have the fast forward on, what's going to happen is the petals are going to tend to get stuck as you are pulling them off, as they're going to go faster than the game can handle, and the game's not going to register you pulling them off, which is going to leave you with a glitched flower. And if you ever get stuck in any of these puzzles because of leaving the fast forward on, you are going to have to start the level over from the beginning from the dev menu. So after plucking all the flowers, just make sure you fast forward through the cutscene, and then once that's over, you should be back in control of your character. Make sure you cross over the new bridge and just follow the trail of sparks until you get to this bit. You're going to have another pile of dirt here that you need to plant another seed, so make sure you plant another black seed right here. That should take you to this next cutscene, which of course you can fast forward by hitting that left bumper. Once you start the next minigame, make sure you turn it off, and for this puzzle, you want to make sure you click on all of the clouds, which is going to cause it to rain, and your goal is to basically fill up this lake right here, and then once that's over, you should plant these lily pads and then open up the next two bridges. So you're going to have a choice here on where to go. We're going to take the bottom path first, so make sure you head down, and then we're going to have another pile of dirt right here that we need to plant a seed in. in, so make sure you do that. And then, of course, feel free to fast forward through all of the cutscenes. Next puzzle is going to be this one. You're going to have a frequency puzzle. Grab the slider over to the right, and then make sure you pay attention to when it pulses. Once you notice it pulse strong, make sure you hold it in that spot, and that should cause the plant to grow. Second part, make sure you do the same thing but to the left, so make sure you bring it over, and then once you notice it pulse, just make sure you hold the position, and then grab that one, and then finally for the third one, go to the right, and then get it to pulse one more time, and that should fully cause the plant to grow. Fast forward through the cutscene if you don't want to sit through that, and then you should get the next bridges up. Once you get the 2 bridges extended, we're going to take the right one, so just follow the trail of sparks. This is going to lead you to another NPC. Make sure you talk to him, and basically he's going to give you a fresh batch of white seeds, so make sure you take those as we are going to need them to proceed. Now, once you have your seeds in hand, make sure you put those away, and then we're going to go the way we came. So just make sure you take the bridge back to the bottom middle, and then we're going to take that left bridge and then proceed forward. Once we're here, we should see another pile of dirt. Feel free to plant a seed. You want to make sure you plant a black seed, as we need to save our white ones for later. We're going to get into another puzzle. The way this one is going to work is you want to make sure you grab the horizon line, and you're going to spin the analog stick going clockwise. You can use the fast forward here if you want to, as this puzzle isn't going to have any detachable parts you can lose, so make sure you take advantage of that if you want to speed through this. But once the star bush is going to be fully grown, you should be able to move on to the next bit. What's going to happen is you're going to get this cutscene where the bridges are going to get extended further, and then we can move on. So, more choices to be made right here, as we have 3 paths to go down. We're going to start out by heading to the left path, so just follow the sparks until you meet your next NPC. Talk to him, and he should give you another batch of seeds, so make sure you stow those away. It's going to be another set of white ones. So, with those in hand, we're going to head back to the center, and this time we're going to take the right path down. So make sure you go down here, and then you're going to meet another NPC. Make sure you talk to them, and then what you know, some more seeds are going to be added to your supply, so make sure you stow those away. Once you have those in hand, it's going to be back to the middle, and then finally it's going to be on to the downward path. So take that and then follow the sparks down here. The reason we needed so many white seeds was because we need to get rid of this barrier right here. So drag a white seed onto the barrier. That should cause it to disappear, allowing you to get past it. There's an NPC sitting on this set of rocks right here. Make sure you talk to them, and then they should give you some more seeds, so you should have plenty of ammo to get through the rest of the level. Once you have that, just continue to follow the trail of sparks, and then eventually it's going to take you all the way up here with another NPC. Make sure you talk to them, and what do you know? Surprise, surprise, you're going to get some more seeds. You're going to get some black seeds this time, so you have more to work with. Once you have those, we're going to head down right here. Another barrier to get rid of, so make sure you drag and drop a white seed onto it, and that should get rid of it. Once the barrier is out of the way, you should be able to round this turn right here, and then you have another dirt pile up top. Make sure you plant a seed into it. You can do any color, but since we have so many white ones, might as well get rid of those. So make sure you grab a seed, and then make sure you pop that in, and that's basically going to start the next mini game. Definitely turn the fast forward off for this mini game, as it's going to cause a ton of problems. But you're going to have this tree that's going to multiply like a hydra. What you want to do is want to make sure you chop off the branches, and then you're going to keep chopping it off until you have 3 birds appear. It's going to be semi-random. It depends on what order you chop the branches down, but eventually you should get the tree big enough and you should get the birds to appear. Make sure you don't over trim the tree, as it's going to cause a really bad glitch to happen where the branches are just going to pile up and you aren't allowed to click on anything. So as soon as you notice there are going to be 3 birds, make sure you click on the birds right away, and make sure you don't let the branches nor the birds pile up over than the number you need to avoid that glitch. And of course, the glitch is more likely to occur if you have the fast forward on during that puzzle, so make sure you turn it off, and then you can turn it back on to skip the cutscene afterwards. Once you get the bridge extended, make sure you make your way across, and then just follow the trail of sparks until you get to this next set of dirt. Make sure you plant a seed here. We're going to use another white one, as we have a bunch of them, and that should cause this next puzzle right here to happen. So same deal as last time, make sure you turn off your fast forward, as we don't want any of the physics bugging out on us. This one should be a pretty simple puzzle. You're going to have this plant that's going to grow these roots, and what you have to do basically is you have to make sure you clear out all of the obstacles in the way of these roots. These roots are going to further branch out the deeper you go, so just make sure you follow it along and clear out any of the rocks or debris that are in the way. So if you notice any glowing bits of the roots, make sure you prioritize those, as those are going to be the ones that are going to be growing the most immediately. So just make sure you take care of that, and your goal is to basically try to get this plant's roots to reach all the way to the bottom where the groundwater is. So it's a very simple puzzle, although it is going to take a while, as you are going to have to do this one at a time, so make sure you are patient with this one. Of course, make sure you do keep that fast forward off, as you do not want the physics of the rocks to mess out. If you send a rock out into orbit, what's going to happen is the game is going to lock your controls. You also have this type of debris which you need to brush away, so just make sure you hold the cursor over it to sweep it out of the way. But other than that, you're just flinging rocks towards the ceiling, and then just making sure you brush off all of the other types of debris. You also have some bones here, which are going to work the same as the rocks, however, they aren't going to be in the way, so make sure you don't worry about those. For the bigger rocks, you're going to need to hold the cursor over them to break them into smaller rocks before you can fling them upward, so make sure you take care of that. But again, it's going to be a super duper easy puzzle to figure out, and then once we get enough roots to reach the groundwater, we should wrap this one up, and then our plant should be all hydrated and stuff, allowing us to move on. Once you start the cutscene, feel free to fast forward through that if you don't care for the story, and then we can move on to the rest of our lives. So once you get the next bridge extended, make sure you take that path going up. Just follow the sparks in case you get lost. You should meet another NPC right here by this golden gate. He's going to give you the third and final type of seed, which is going to be the golden seed. Once you have that, you can notice a dirt pile down there at the bottom of the hill. So make sure you take the path down and then wrap around. Make sure you use a gold seed on this pile of dirt. You should get a cutscene. Feel free to fast forward through that, and then that should extend the bridge back to the starting area. Again, make sure you use the left bumper to skip any of the cutscenes if you don't want to sit through those. Once you get that bridge extended, make sure you make the crossing, and then we should be back in this familiar place. We're going to head back to the middle and then go up. Now that we have the golden seeds, we can use those to open up the golden gate. So make sure you drag one onto here, and then that should replace that with a nice plant that you can walk through. You're going to proceed up right here, so just make sure you take the path going up. There's going to be another NPC right here. You can talk to him if you want to. He's going to give you some seeds, although we are coming towards the end of the level, so we don't really need these. But make sure you talk to him anyways, as we can never have too much ammo. Nonetheless, just make sure you keep following the mountain path until you get to the tippy top, where you should meet your final NPC of the level. He's going to be underneath this apple tree right here, so we are going to Isaac Newton the hell out of him. Click on the apple that's going to be directly above his head in order to knock him out, and then as soon as you take care of that, you should get this cutscene. Again, feel free to fast forward through this. Once you get control of the cursor, you're going to want to turn off your fast forward, and then you need to make sure you click this spiral thing a total of 3 times. Then after a little bit of a break, you're going to get control of the cursor again. Make sure you click on it once more to examine it, and then after that, what's going to happen is your character is going to put it away, and then you're going to get another little cutscene right here. Feel free to fast forward through that if you want to, but then you're going to get this hand with the spiral on it. This is always going to be the thing that signifies the end of a level, so make sure you click on that spiral. You can fast forward through the little transition, but as soon as you load in to the next bit, you should be good for the first achievement of the game. This one is going to be for 70 gamer score, but of course do stay tuned as we have plenty more of the game to cover, so make sure you tune back for those. But that's going to be it for now, and that's all there is to it.